At least they're not holding up traffic at present, but who knows what's going to happen a bit later on. Why can't they do this in a mosque somewhere? Why do they have to do it in the main street of Melbourne? No, I live nearby. I don't know why people need to do this in the main street of Melbourne. Why can't they go to a church or a mosque or something?
Only once a year.
Sorry?
Only once a year. We have spoken to the Melbourne Council and they have actually allowed us to come and do that once a year. That's what we do.
Well, there's been demonstrations in this area for over 2 years now, and I live here nearby, and this has given me the bloody irrits. I can't stand it anymore. That's why I've come down to see why people are doing this. Are these the people that were walking around the church in East Melbourne recently?
I don't think so. I don't know. One of the admins are somewhere standing over there. You can probably talk.
All right, I'll go over. But
because I'm just distributing this, I don't know. But one of the admins would be over there.
Does the name Sisto Malaspina mean anything to you? He was the operator of a coffee shop in Bourke Street.
Okay.
And a couple of years ago, he was walking down the street and he saw what appeared to be a car crash in Bourke Street, and he went over to help. And it was a guy with a hatchet or an axe,
okay.
And he killed him. He stabbed him to death.
That's very sad.
Sisto Malaspina, his name is, and the guy turned out to be an Islamic terrorist.
That is very sad.
There was a coronial inquiry, and the coroner found that the guy that killed him was an Islamic terrorist.
We condemn all of that.
Well, I'm very unhappy that people feel entitled to block footpaths and call out slogans and make noise when, my understanding is there are mosques around Melbourne. Why can't they go and do what they're doing now in the mosque? Why do they have to block the footpaths here and make a lot of noise? Anyway, thanks for your time. I'm very, very unhappy about it. I was actually in 2 hours drive north of New York on September 11th.
Oh.
So I am fully aware of the damage that Islam and its adherents have done to Western countries. I visited Nice in France a few years ago, and an Islamic terrorist drove a truck along the foreshore in Nice and killed 85 people. And I was in Barcelona some years later, and an Islamic terrorist drove down Las Ramblas and killed dozens of people.
Can I give you some stats?
Yeah, sure.
So this group, because I don't know their language, I don't understand, but I can tell you the group is from some part of Afghanistan.
Right.
There's the same group of Islamic terrorists have killed their families. So what is happening is within the Muslim community, there are groups that are very extremist, and they're actually even doing that to our own people. Right? So what I'm trying to say is there are good people and bad people. These bad people are causing mischief against everywhere, and that's the worst problem. That's kind of what we want to make sure, that the people who are peace-loving should be okay to live the life they want to, but then those who are not should get prosecuted, should get actually be, whatever wrong thing they do, should face the consequences of that.
The leader of Turkey said there is no moderate Islam or extreme Islam, there is only Islam. So the Shia don't like the Sunnis and the Sunni don't like the Shias, and Islam don't like infidels. And sadly, in the global situation, I'm an infidel, and my understanding is that Islam says death to infidels, and I'm just not happy about what's going on here today.
I don't believe in that, but that's
Thank you for your time. Chaps, I was told there was some sort of organisers over here that I might have a word with about what's going on here. Yep. I live just over there, yep. And I'm very unhappy about the noise and the blockage of the footpaths. Yep. So if there's a supervisor I can talk with, who would I see down here?
You can talk with anyone.
Well, can I talk to you?
Yeah, you can talk with anyone. What do you want?
Why is it necessary
Yep.
for there to be a huge crowd of people
Yep.
blocking the footpath and making a whole lot of noise in my neighbourhood? I live about 300 metres from here, and the noise was disturbing me in my place of residence. Why is it necessary to do it here? Why can't you go to a mosque or another location in Melbourne rather than come to the centre of Melbourne and cause this sort of difficulty? Are you able to answer that?
Yeah, I will answer it. Just give me a second, yeah?
Okay. Somebody told me over there that you had a permit to come and do this.
Yep, we have a permit.
And I'm going to take that up with the Melbourne City Council because I don't see why the residents of Melbourne have to put up with this all the time. I've got to go. I'll just say quickly, are you aware of the name Sisto Malaspina? Sisto Malaspina. He was an Italian by heritage who had a coffee shop in Burke Street, and a few years ago he was walking down Burke Street to buy a Christmas present for his grandson, or a birthday present for his grandson, when he encountered what he thought was a car accident. And instead, it was an Islamic terrorist who crashed the vehicle, got out with a knife, and killed Sisto Malaspina in Burke Street. So you're unaware of Sisto Malaspina being murdered in Burke Street by an Islamic terrorist. You don't know about that. I would ask you to try and look it up on the internet. Sisto Malaspina. Sisto Malaspina was murdered in Burke Street by an Islamic terrorist. And I don't see why we need to put up with this stuff. Thank you for your time. What you think about this? What, are you concerned about this going on in the centre of Melbourne? I live just over there, and this has been going on for about 2 years now on weekends, and I'm tired of it. Welcome to Melbourne. May I speak to you for a moment? You're visiting Melbourne?
No, we live here. We're doing photography.
I live just over there.
Yeah.
And this sort of stuff has been going on in my neighbourhood for the last 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm finding...
Sessions like this all the time.
Yeah. Well, usually Sundays when they block the traffic and it's... I'm just intrigued that and I was talking with one of the officials who said that the Melbourne City Council gave them a permit to do it, and I'll take that up with the Melbourne City Council. But
yes.
As a resident here, I object to people being able to do this on a regular basis. And I suggested to some of the people, why don't you go to a mosque to do it rather than the main street of Melbourne? And they said, we have a permit. So anyway, thanks for your time. But you don't find this confronting or disturbing at all? Sorry?
It's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, we're not that.
Okay. Well, it wears thin after 2.5 years. Thank you. You're here for the footy?
Sorry?
You're here for the footy? I live just over there. I'm just wondering whether you're concerned about this at all.
Oh, we're doing film.
Well, I do street interviews with people about things like this.
I'm not sure what this is about.
Well,
I can't see any Palestinian.
Well, it's an Islamic group who apparently were given a permit to meet and march today.
Right.
And I must commend them for not blocking the street, which has happened regularly in the past. So at least they're not blocking the street. But I've asked a number of them, why can't they do this at a mosque or in their own suburbs rather than come to the centre of Melbourne?
Because they wouldn't get the attention
Well,
that they would get here, obviously.
Well, you're a Melbourne fan.
No, I'm not a Melbourne fan. I'm
okay.
actually from Sydney. I'm with a family of Melbourne supporters, and they forced me to wear this
Okay.
horrible, because I am a Swan supporter, of course.
Of course. Well, some of this sort of stuff has been going on in Sydney, and
Of course. Yeah, we had the big march
the
across
bridge. I was in. They estimated 90,000 people on the
Something
bridge.
like that.
And the police ended up saying, "Look, you guys, you're blocking traffic. There could be ambulances," and they got them to disperse.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of nuances behind that.
Yeah.
But, when I look at this, I don't see any women.
No, there were some women fully covered. The face was showing, but other than that,
But,
here's some right here. Here's some right here.
all for people expressing themselves, but however, we need freedom and we need the right to be able to say what we feel.
My wife and I were in upstate New York on the morning of September 11th, 2001, and we visited.
Did you hear that Leighton Hewitt just won the US Open?
I did not. But we stayed at a friend's place that night, and the next morning we drove down to friends in Virginia, past the smoking ruins of the World Trade Center.
Whoa.
Okay,
That's my daughter.
I'll leave you to it, mate.
Good
on
luck.
you. Thanks. Well, as I've said, as a resident of Southbank, we have been putting up with disruptions like this for about 2.5 years now, and it is absolutely disgraceful. And apparently the Melbourne City Council gave them a permit to do this. I'll take that up with the head of the Melbourne City Council that I pay rates to live here. It's an absolute disgrace. And you'd think with all of the kerfuffle over women's rights in recent years that the majority of Australians would say they're not happy with women being forced to dress in a particular fashion at the behest of men. It's an absolute disgrace. Saying sulphurs. What is Arvo?